Good morning, good evening, good day, good night from wherever you are in the world. I am Tim, and I'm here with Alex for the Formula EuroLeague Tier 3 German Grand Prix. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing very good, Tim. Thanks for that lovely welcome again, as always.
Currently, we're waiting to arrive here at the German Grand Prix circuit, and we're going to have a little bit of a qualifying session first, as per usual. But first, let's take a look at the point standings after last week. SVDL, he won the race, going 30 laps on the hard tire, so a very amazing test of endurance from SVDL, and he's showing it up at the top of the point standings with 68 points, and that is 24 points ahead of second place APG Cortez. So what do you make of that?
I mean, it shows he's got a very good lead at the top of the standings now. You know, a massive result last time out in Spain for SVDL, going 30 laps on the hard stuff. I mean, I still can't quite believe to this day. It still blows my mind how he was able to do that. So 24-point lead gives him, you know, he can drop a race now if he does finish outside the points. He still has that pretty good lead. He'll only be 1 point down if the driver behind him, who I think you said was Cortez.
That is correct.
Yeah, if Cortez picks up the win, he'd still only be 1 point ahead, so it would just be, maybe just brings the field closer together rather than, you know, create a massive gap. So SVDL is in a brilliant position at the moment.
I'm sure he's quite comfortable up there at the top of the standings, but he cannot get too comfortable because it's still very early on in the season. This is only our fourth race, so one or two very costly mistakes and he could find himself trying to claw his way back to the top.
Yeah, definitely. As we wait for the drivers to go out on their first hot laps, as there's a bit of a argy-bargy there between Dimitri and the Alfa Romeo. I think that is Veterano, yeah. Bit of argy-bargy, who's going to get track position to start their lap. But this should be, you know, Germany's a very quick circuit, that very long back straight, that curves into that very sharp braking zone, you know, easy to lock up there. And then that first corner, very easy to lose traction if you hit the curbs at too high of a speed. So it's going to be an interesting one, for sure.
Yeah, we actually almost saw Dimitri lose a little bit of traction there. He hung on to it pretty well, but nonetheless, it looks like he was having just a little bit of trouble going through turn one, and actually Veterano just got by him. So someone needs to tell these guys that they're not necessarily racing for track position just yet. They're just trying to get the fastest lap. However, Dimitri has invalidated his lap, so he's not going to be able to set that fast lap this time around.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, for Dimitri, he had Veterano battling for position with him. If he's able to cancel this lap, it means he can come round slowly, get a bit of a gap, you know, try and keep within the toe of Dimitri to give him a lot of speed down the back, not of Dimitri, of Veterano to keep the speed, but then also stay a bit further back so you don't get the dirty air. So I mean, as long as he can look after the tyres as he comes around the final sector now to start his lap, as David VH37 goes fastest, only by a few hundredths of Stein, and then Jory on the hards only a few tenths off. But Veterano now goes quickest with a 1:11.5. That's a very quick time in Veterano.
Yeah, Veterano already showing that he might be a car to beat here today, but we still have quite a few drivers remaining to have to set a time, and it's Jake, meanwhile, just about a lap ago, unfortunately DNF from this session, so not sure what happened to It's Jake, but he's not going to be able to set a time at all, as he is undoubtedly out of this qualifying session, so he will be lining up from the 17th position come race time.
Yeah, unless any other drivers get disqualified, but that's very unlikely to see here. I think one of the drivers has just pulled off to the side to let other drivers through. As Harvey-Kosher, I think Harvey-Kosher got it wrong at the hairpin section. I think he went a bit deep. Trying to set times on the hard tyres right now. But at the moment, through the first almost 5 minutes of the session, Veterano on pole with 1:11.5. 5 tenths or 6 tenths quicker than David in second. Stein in third, a few hundredths behind Joey on the hard tyres. We saw him do this last time out, try and start on the harder compound. I think that's a McLaren in the wall. I've just noticed that. I think Luke Burns has put himself into the wall in the start-finish straight. Did you see any of that, Tim?
I didn't see it, but Luke Burns is, in fact, out of the qualifying session. So very unfortunate for him, not going to be able to set a time at all. So already 2 drivers DNFing from this qualifying session. Hopefully, for their sake, that they can get their bad luck out of the way early on, because if it carries over to the race, they're not going to be happy at all.
Well, I mean, if we think about it from last week out as well, SVDL started, I think, 15th or 16th on the grid after not setting a time in qualifying. Was able to come around and win the race. Obviously got fortunate with safety cars and tyre strategy, but I mean, if you can see someone come back from 15th on the grid the week before, you got to feel like, okay, maybe it isn't the worst, we can still salvage some points here.
And you know, you are spot on with that. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. And SVDL, he took advantage of it, and like we said, 30 laps on the hard tires. That was amazing. Not sure if he's going to try to do that this week or not. He has 2 laps on his tires right now, and ironically, they are hard tires. However, he still has not yet been able to set a time, and he won't set a time this lap because he has already invalidated his lap. So SVDL looks like he's struggling with the track limits here so far, so hopefully he can get that under his belt here very soon.
Yeah, I think there's is that a Ferrari? Yeah, Ferrari got it wrong of Dimitri. I think he spun it coming out of the first corner. He's lost a bit of his front wing, he's lost his right end plate, as I think he does block maybe half Kosh's lap, but it is only his out lap, so it shouldn't be too detrimental for him. As our pole sitter at the moment, Veterano, he would want to have a better race from last time out, picked up many penalties, got relegated to the back of the field very quickly and just decided it wasn't worth it and decided to leave the session early. But at the moment, he's on pole, so let's see what he can do this lap as we go into the 11 minutes left of this qualifying session.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes it's just... Excuse me. Sometimes it's really hard to lock down the track limits and get it just right, because you're really just flirting with the track limits every single lap. In order to set a fast lap, you've got to be right on that edge, because you see all the time drivers will, you know, cut the corners, and it's not necessarily that they're cutting it illegally by the race steward standards. It's just that there's a really fine line.
Yeah, you just need to maximize. You know, you want to get as tight onto the apex as possible, because as you see in even running in athletics, you know, 1500 meters, everyone tries to get to the inside lane because it's the quickest lane. As Stain there goes fastest by a few hundredths, but I think Veterano was on a quicker lap than his lap beforehand. Oh, he gets squirmy and he's out the session, I think. Yes.
Oh my
Veterano
goodness.
Lost out of the final corner, pushing a bit too hard. He was currently on a faster lap than his pole lap, or his preliminary pole lap before Stain took over, but now Veterano would just have to watch his other drivers either pick up the pace or try and stick his position. At the moment he is third, but will most likely drop further back the field if people set faster times.
And that's the third driver who has had some issues along those lines here during this qualifying session. We actually just got an update from It's Jake. It turns out that what you were saying earlier, Alex, about clipping the curb into turn one, that's exactly what he did. He said that he clipped the curb in turn one on the exit, and it just spun him and it took him into the wall. So unfortunate luck for It's Jake, and as we just saw, unfortunate luck for Veterano as well. And Luke Burns was the McLaren that you saw spinning. Frosty Calvin was the most recent driver to retire from the session, but I'm not sure if that was because of a wreck or if he just decided that enough was enough. But I feel like with him not having a time on the board that it might have been from a wreck. Did you see what happened?
I did not see what happened, no, but there's Sea-Dog going slowly at the hairpin, so I think he might just be letting the Racing Point go past as he does. But I didn't see what happened with Calvin, I will not lie to you. I don't know if it was a crash. It may have been a crash, as we've seen Jake and Luke Burns, and now Veterano do as well. So it could very well be a crash. And I'm gonna say that I foretold this, especially with it's Jake. You know, the first corner curve is very dangerous, as Jake pays the price of, and then through the final turn, Luke Burns said hello to the wall. So did Veterano. So I mean, as we saw in Spain, very tough turns around this track, but I'm going to say you're pushing in qualifying to get as much time out of the car as possible, so I don't think we'll see the same sort of crashes in the race.
We could, but only time will tell, as we have 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this session. Luke Burns just gave us an update that it turns out that going through the final corner, he went just a little bit too fast and spun it into the wall. So, Luke Burns, hopefully for your sake that all your bad luck is out of the way now. We'll see what happens come race time in just a little bit over 7.5 minutes.
Yes, I mean, I'm gonna go. Oh no, I was gonna go on board with InSync, but it looked like he validated his lap, so he just came into the pit. So I think Karacha is on the lap here, so we'll go on board with Karacha Ole coming through the final sector now. He's provisionally 6th, only a few hundredths off Raphael ahead of him, but then a whole second off 3rd at the moment. And he does go faster, so he does overtake Raphael and goes into 5th, but still 5 tenths slower than the pole sitter Stain at the moment.
Still not a bad time from Cucaracha there, a 1:12.103. Now I'm currently watching Junior Spam, his best lap so far, a 1:12.810. But as he rounds the final corner to complete his out lap, he will start his flying lap now. Gonna be looking to top that board. So far, the fastest lap we have is from Stain, a 1:11.515. Since he set that lap quite a few laps ago, he has not had any contenders, his closest contender being David in second with a 1:11.543. So we're seeing a lot of really close times here at the top of the board.
Yeah, it looks like you're seeing separate groups. I mean, you've got the top 3 covered by just 0.04 of a second almost, and then you've got from 6th down to 9th covered by just over 3 tenths. So there seems to be groups forming of where the pace would be, and obviously you've got some drivers on the hard tyres. Jory again looks like he's going with the same strategy he did in Junior Spam, a little bit wayward there, but apparently did set a purple sector too, I think. So if he's able to keep the pace through the final sector, we could see a new pole sitter here. But as I was saying, Jory looks like he's going for the same strategy as he did last time out on the hards. Trying to say it's time, but I think Junior Spam got it all wrong for the final corner and will abandon his lap, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, just looks like he's not got anything in the tank, at least not right now. He might be trying to make a fast lap, but it'd probably behoove him to better if he just were to pit and put on a fresh set of soft tires and then go back out there. Currently, I'm going to take a look at Jory, who's on his flying lap. Currently, his best time is a 1:12.764. That's good enough for the 8th position, but he's going to be looking for a little bit better. However, he's only on the medium tire, so I'm not looking for those to have too much speed, but nonetheless, he could set a good lap. He's actually just coming up on Stain right now, so that is his teammate in the Williams. So Stain moving over to let him by. Good sportsmanship there from him. So Jory here in just a little bit. We'll see where he winds up on the board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, he did set it on the hard, so looking at tyre speed and just in general, all perfect condition, you want to see the mediums have a few tenths up on the hard tyres, so he should probably go up into 6th position, maybe even 5th if he just finds if he can find a lot of time on these mediums as he comes around the final corner now, and it will be good enough for 5th. So I said it was either going to be 6th or 5th, and I guessed correctly with 5th. So a very good lap there from Jory on the medium. So we'll be at the moment only 3 drivers on the mediums inside the top 10 at the moment. So we'll see if they will come in to get another set of softs on their car. It will be, going going to be tough to get all the way around in time to get another set of tyres on the car and get out straight away. But I mean, if it's a 1:11 lap, you're probably going to take about 2 minutes to get a warm-up lap out there, so could have the time.
That it could. Currently, I'm watching our pole sitter, or a provisional pole sitter rather, of Stain. Still a 1:11.5 on the board, but he's on his flying lap right now. Or yes, he is on his flying lap. So rounding through the third sector. Here in just a moment, we'll see if he can better his time or not. It looked like he had a purple second sector there, so he might be a little bit faster here. Going just a little bit wide out of that penultimate corner now through the final corner, going a little bit wide still, but hanging on to it as he crosses the line. He does improve his lap time, a 1:11.129 for Stain.
Yeah, that's a massive lap from Stain there. He might not be able to get another lap in if he has to go all the way around the track into the pits. We know how long the pit sequence can take, so that might be his final lap of the session, but he'll be happy with that. As King, I've just noticed King Kiski hasn't set a lap all session, just comes in to set the second fastest lap on the softs with a 1:11.349. He's going out for another lap here, but he is a second slower on his first sector before, so he might just be coasting his way round now. So very good lap from King there, as David is coming out now to set his final lap of the race. Instinct on his out lap. Jory in the pits. He should be coming out soon. I think I do see him coming out now. The SVDL championship leader does just go 6th, as I was talking about him being down in 14th. Does find some pace as well. It's a Williams and Ferrari sandwich for the championship leader here. Not what he would want to be a part of, but and I've just realised Cortez is not here racing today.
Yeah, I actually just noticed that too. So apparently that is who Cucaracha is filling in for today. So unfortunate for Cortez, he's going to miss out on the points, but that's going to help SVDL because he is here. So as long as he scores points, he will gain on Cortez. Can't say so much about anyone behind Cortez in the point standing. So Cortez might not even be looking at second place once it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Jory only 8 points behind him. Stain, I think that's 15 points behind him. So, you know, it could easily be made up in one racing. Cortez might pay the price for not showing up, but obviously if he's got other commitments, he isn't able to show, then that's fine. Junior Spam, I think, has put it into the wall. I might be wrong there, but I don't know. He may have just retired at the end for, yeah, I've done the quickest lap I could. So he will wind up in 11th, could be relegated by Dimitri or Sea-Dog here.
There's a
David
racing point.
well.
Yeah, there's actually a racing point. I think it was Raphael outside of turn 3, so it looks like he had a little bit of an issue and hit the wall there.
There's a Ferrari. There's a Ferrari round. I think that might be Dimitri. I might be wrong. Yeah, Dimitri got it wrong out of the first turn, so he's in his final stint. As can anyone not Stain off the top? Instinct retires from the session, so I think he may have had a crash as well, so he's not going to be able to take pole off of Stain. SVDL has already finished his final lap. Kinkiski has already finished his final lap. Max here goes 3 tenths faster, will move him into the top 10, but not anywhere near the pole. It's now Jory and Karacha left. Jory coming around the final sector now on another set of mediums. Will he be able to take Stain off top spot as he comes around the final turn now? Will his time be an improvement? No, he goes slower, so he will stay 8th. So now it is Karacha. His time is invalidated, so I think everyone who is out on a lap has either finished it or everyone has retired, as Karacha has invalidated his laps. So Stain will be your pole sitter for the German Grand Prix after a good start last time out in Spain on, I think, the medium or hard tyres. I think he may have done the same strategy as his partner in crime, Jory. So we'll see what he can do from pole. But your order at the moment is Stain in first, King in second, Instinct third, David fourth, Veterano fifth, SVDL with one tail flat beats Raphael by 2 thousandths of a second in seventh, Jory eighth, Karacha ninth, Max P 10th, Junior Spam 11th, Dimitri 12th, Sea-Dog 13th, Harv Kosh 14th, so the Red Bulls Lockout 14th and 15th. Then I think it is David. No, it's not David, it's Jake. I saw the Mercedes for it was David. It's Jake in 16th and Luke Burns 17th.
So congratulations to Stain on his pole for the German Grand Prix. So starting out in front, gonna have a good chance to try to get some track position on these guys before the DRS is active. It just depends on how quick his car is. It looks like King Kiski there in the Renault in second. As you mentioned, he set a really fast lap there in the qualifying session. He might be giving Stain a little bit of a run for his money when we go green.
And Slipstream is such a massive part of this track. That back straight, no matter if you have DRS or not, if you can just get in the slipstream of the other driver, you are most likely going to be going past him. So, you know, maybe starting pole was a bit of a curse in disguise because, you know, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to have slipstream, you're not going to be able to defend as well. You might have to burn up a bit more fuel in Rich Mix to try and hold King behind him if you're Stain is. I think there's some Stain fans in the chat. There's Stain with goat emojis, so obviously a few fans of Stain there, or it may be the man himself cheering himself on. So it should be a good race. What are you? Who do you think is going to get the win here today, Tim? Who are you got your eyes on?
Honestly, I've got my eye on Veterano there in fifth. He had a little bit of an issue there in qualifying to where I believe he wrecked out, but he was the provisional pole sitter for the longest time, and his time was not that far off from Stain. Of course, Stain being on the pole sitter, he's the easy pick as well because he's obviously set the fastest time. In addition, King Kiski is another driver that I'm going to keep my eye on just because he just came out of the blue, set a lap time, rocketed right up into the second position, so I think that he might be a little bit of a sleeper here today that's going to give us a nice show.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at King, honestly, to get the win. I mean, as you said, came out of nowhere, set the second fastest lap of the session, wasn't even out of the pit for like 10 laps or 10 minutes of the session even. So if he's just got the pace like that from one lap, he could be something to worry about, and especially with Slipstream, if he's able to keep up with Stain to start, it's going to be a very good battle for the top, hopefully. Oh, as King is disconnected. Not sure if that's internet problem, but commentator's curse perhaps sees him drop from the races. There's been a collision between Instinct and Stain, so they're going to get relegated to the grid. So I don't know what's happened with King. Hopefully he's able to rejoin before the start of the race. But as it lines up with Stain on pole, King on the second row with him, Instinct third with David alongside him on the second row, Veterano alongside your championship leader SVDL, Raphael in 7th, Jory in 8th, looking to gain some points on Cortez, who couldn't be here with us today. But as we prepare to go racing here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go for the German Grand Prix as Instinct gets a fantastic start off the line. Is he able to get past King? Yes, he can. Stain will hold the lead, and I think King has dropped massively. I think there's been a crash. There's been a massive crash.
And that was Veterano who got turned around. I was riding on board with Max P, and he had a good view of it, but Veterano, he got turned around heading into turn 3, and I don't believe, no, he is not out of this race, but he does not have a front wing, so he's going to have to pull into the pits and get that fixed very quickly.
Yeah, as the VSC comes out for the debris as we go through the order. So Stain is still in the lead. He holds his lead from Instinct in second. SVDL, again, just like last time, able to capitalise off first lap crashes. Maybe he has a plan. Maybe he starts a bit lower back so he's able to avoid the crashes. But I think he got lucky this time. He goes up into third. David behind him in fourth. Jory up into fifth from eighth on the grid. Raphael in sixth. Karacha seventh. Dimitri eighth. So the two Ferraris following behind each other. Max P in ninth. King in 10th, although he's not here. Sea-Dog in 11th. Fleet Burns behind him. Does have a 5-second penalty. He's getting overtaken by Half Kosh here. Half down the inside. What a move. Luke couldn't defend from it. And I think, has there been another crash? It looks like there has been.
That there has. It looked like it was involving Instinct and a couple of Ferraris. So Cucaracha and Dimitri, though, they're still running 5th and 6th. It looks like their cars are all good, but I think they were in it just a little bit. And Cucaracha trying to make it 3 wide going into turn 1. Does he hold on to it? Yes, he does, and he moves into the 4th position.
Following on board with Max here, Dimitri right up the back end of Jory trying to get the slipstream, as I said. And now it's 3 wide. The Ferraris and the Williams. Will Max P try and make it 4? No, he doesn't. He sticks behind Jory, trying to take the racing line to get a better exit. But he does have to stay behind. So great battling down the straight, as I'll now go on board with Jory as he's in the middle of the sandwich. He's got Dimitri on his left. He has the inside line for this corner. Tries to squeeze him out on the apex. Dimitri still holds it in there. Now has to go very wide to avoid a collision there. And still side by side as they go through the fast right-hander. And they're still side by side. It's fantastic between Dimitri and Jory. I'm going to run out of breath by the time this battle's finished. And Jory, does he get the move to 6th? Yes, he does. So he will get ahead. And now dives down the inside of David. David caught napping on the apex or out wide. And now he loses 2 possessions. I think he got overtaken by Karacha. Didn't think Jory or Dimitri was anywhere near him. And just was kept caught lacking. I think David spun. I think David spun. Yes, he has. Oh, someone's in the wall. Max P's out of the session. What is going on, Tim? Please take over. I'm going to run out of breath.
A lot of carnage. That is exactly what's going on. Max P, he was spun just coming out of the final corner, and then David was spun right as they passed the pit exit, and then not sure what happened. Maybe Max P was just trying to avoid David's car, but nonetheless, he went off into the grass, hit the wall, and now his day is definitely done. So the first DNF of this race is Max P in the Haas machine. Unfortunately for him, we are under a virtual safety car condition now because of that. So David, ironically, although him being the first one to spin on that lap, is going to be the one that actually gets the better end of the deal because he's running in 10th now and still actually in this race. However, he is going to have to pit because he does not have a front wing. So much like what we saw with Veterano come the first lap, David now is going to have to pit under virtual safety car conditions to get a new front wing put on that car. So very unfortunate for them that it's not a safety car, because they're going to lose a lot of time as now we are going back green. So going to go take a look now at Jory because he is in a Ferrari sandwich between Cucaracha and Dimitri. So as they cross the line, this is lap 4 of 34. So about 30 laps to go now. And the Ferraris are just trying to put the pressure on the Williams of Jory. Cucaracha in front of him. Jory trying to chase him down. Dimitri losing some ground to Jory because Jory is really fast chasing down his teammates. So Cucaracha right there in 3rd. Jory in 4th. SPDL in 2nd. And it's just a 3-car battle for the 2nd position because Stain is checked out. 5.1 seconds ahead. Jory going underneath Cucaracha, but will he clear him? Yes, he does. Now he's going to try to go underneath SPDL. We will have 3 wide going into turn 3. But who will come out victorious? It looks like it's going to be Cucaracha moving into the 2nd position, followed by Jory in 3rd and SPDL in 4th. But now it looks like Dimitri trying to get underneath SPDL. Will he be able to clear him? They are side by side still. Dimitri will have the preferred line, and he will clear SPDL, at least for the time being. Our championship leader just trying to play it smart. Riding on board now with SPDL as he's trying to chase down those Ferraris of Dimitri and Cucaracha. Also with Jory there in the mix, but just behind them, it looks like there's a battle between Harvkosh and SVDL. Yes, Harvkosh is trying to get so very close to SVDL. Not sure if he's going to be able to do anything with it or not. Going to go take a look at this battle between the Ferraris and the Williams, though, because I cannot take my eyes off of it. They are so very close. So SVDL in 5th and losing ground to this 3-car battle ahead of him. Dimitri, rather, is trying to put some pressure on the Williams of Jory. Jory putting pressure on the Ferrari of Cucaracha. So these 3 cars are just going to run nose to tail through this section, going through turn 2 and now approaching turn 3. Cucaracha looks like he's losing ground to Jory. Jory going to try to go on the outside to pass him, but will he be able to clear him? No, he does not. Going through the hairpin. Jory, there is contact between Jory and Cucaracha, but Cucaracha will still retain 2nd place, and that's going to allow Dimitri to get underneath Jory. So now Jory is dropped down to 4th with Dimitri running in 3rd.
The Ferraris working very well together here. They're on split strategies. Cucaracha on the soft tyres, Dimitri on the medium, so he's now with Jory. But what I was going to say before with SVDL, with that massive battle between the 4 of them, SVDL just got caught out without DRS, and what I said before the race, that back straight, if you don't have DRS, you're sitting duck. You can't do anything to, you know, keep them behind you. You can defend as much as you can, as SVDL did, try and cover the inside liners. Or I think Cucaracha's got it wrong through the final corner, and Dimitri will now say, excuse me, I'm coming through, but they'll be side by side again here, down into the DRS straight, and Jory wants to join the party, but no, Dimitri does get the move done on his teammate Cucaracha. So Dimitri running very well here in the Ferrari on the medium tyres, staying 3 seconds out ahead. That is exactly what he would have wanted from the race. Try and break the toe, break the DRS, and he's just going to have to hope that Dimitri and Cucaracha don't work together to try and slipstream off each other and close the gap.
I'm honestly surprised that we don't see the 2 Ferraris working together a little bit more, because the racing that we've seen so far, you think that they're arch rivals, but they are teammates. Teammates are racing each other like this.
And as we look back, or I'll look back on our championship leader, he is just dropping positions. Was in 2nd at the start of lap 3, now in 7th at the end of lap 6. He's going to be, I think, very upset that he just didn't have the DRS to defend from 3 cars. I mean, losing 1 position, that's alright, you can still keep with him, but he lost 4, or pretty much lost 4 positions on that 1 lap. So he's going to be very upset about that. But I think Stain and Cucaracha both pull into the pits, and they're fitting the hard tyres, so they might be going for the SVDL tactic, make the hard tyres work as long as possible, as he'll come out just behind its Jake, so he might have DRS here on the Mercedes driver, and no, he doesn't. So, oh yes, he does, sorry, beg my pardon, he does. So that's going to give him a bit of extra speed. Cucaracha not in the DRS of anyone, he is in his own race right now, 3 seconds ahead of him the gap, 3 seconds behind in the gap, so Cucaracha's just going to have to be putting in the laps at the moment. But Dimitri leads your race on the medium tyres, Jory in hot pursuit, but Harvkosh finding a lot of pace. Veterano, 3 second time penalty there for corner cutting, I believe. Now Harvkosh, he's really been on a rampage here, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has, moving up into 3rd. Of course, some of that is because of the pit strategy taken by Stain, but nonetheless, Harvkosh doing a very good job just trying to chase down Jory. Dimitri, meanwhile, is leading in that Ferrari, 1.5 seconds ahead of Jory. Harvkosh, it looks like he's really our only battle going on at the time being, but he's trying to use that slipstream to get close to Jory. Not able to do it this time, but he is within the DRS range, so if he can get to the DRS zone here in just a moment, he will be able to try to make a move on Jory, but I don't think he's close enough to make a pass just yet. But that will help him gain a lot of track position as he is using the slipstream and the DRS both, and really gaining onto the back of that Williams there as they go into the hairpin, and he gets into the back of Jory and upsets the car a little bit. Jory will hold on to the 2nd position though.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to commentate on the action as King Kiski needs to try and get back into the lobby, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that really quickly. So you're going to be on your own for a bit, Tim. But I mean, looking on the stream, it's the massive battle between Harv and Jory at the moment. Oh, okay. I can't invite King. Thank you, Tar66 for the info. So King, unfortunate to get kicked from the lobby. So we'll just have to see how his computer is able to race for him. But he's going to be very disappointed starting second.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for King Kiski, but hopefully he can see a little bit of a silver lining in it to say that, hey, he was fast today, so he can be fast in a race in the future as well. It's just a matter of bad luck for him in this race.
Yeah, so now as the field begins to spread out, I think David's just gone for an overtake on Luke. Maybe through the fast right-hander. That would have been a massive overtake there if he was able to do it, but Luke Burns looks like he's struggling. I can't tell. Oh, he's missing half of his front wing. That is why he is struggling. So Luke Burns coming into the pits now to fit a new front wing. So at the moment the race is Dimitri in the lead at the moment, Stain your provisional leader though after his pit stop, Jory in second, Half Kosh third, Junior Spam in fourth, SVDL your championship leader in fifth, Stain in sixth as I mentioned, but should regain the lead after everyone's pit stop. It's Jake in seventh, Karacha Ole now chasing down it's Jake in 8th, Raphael in 9th, Instinct in 10th, Calvin, who got a 3-second time penalty, I saw in the bottom, in 11th, chasing down Instinct, David in his own little race in 12th, Veterano in 13th, and King Kiski, fortunately not here with us, unfortunate for him, due to unforeseen circumstances, and Sea-Dog 15th, and Luke Burns 16th. So the two McLarens near the rear of the pack is the Ferraris, or the Ferrari of Dimitri. The leading pack is closing him down, so we could see a lap car very soon. We'll see how that comes into the affair.
Meanwhile, Cucaracha just went by It's Jake for the 7th position on fresh medium tires. Cucaracha making his way up through the field slowly but surely. It's Jake rather now. He is sitting in the 8th position, just trying to hang on. He's got 9 laps on the medium tire, so they shouldn't really be hurting too bad for tire wear, but nonetheless, before too long, he's going to have to think about pitting, but I'd say he can last at least another 5 laps or so.
Matthias in the comments is saying that Seb equals noob, so I don't think Seb's got many fans in the comments with Matthias. That is a Matthias I'm thinking about. He is the Tier 1 commentator, so hopefully for Seb he doesn't get into Tier 1 or he will just get bombarded with slander from Matthias, but at the moment, looking on board with Dimitri, he is commanding the race. Jory just outside the DRS zone. May have the slipstream though, so may be able to gain. Half Kosh also outside the DRS zone. Junior Spam also as well. So the top 4 just outside the DRS activation point, which is very tough for them because they'll just be wanting to get that extra little bit of help to gain on the driver ahead. But I mean, unless you're in that 1 second, you're just going to be in a stalemate.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the most frustrating positions that you can be in, is knowing that you're so close yet so far to being able to close that gap just that much more. And that's the position that we see the top 3 drivers, or well, really the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th drivers in. Dimitri, rather, running in first. He says, you know what, guys, you can just stay back there all race. I don't care. I'm going to hang out here and just enjoy it.
Definitely. Junior Spam closing up the gap on Harv. So it looks like Harv's losing a bit of pace as Jory does break the 1 second, so he might be in the DRS zone, does get a bit squirmy out of the corners just before, but he does get DRS, so we'll go on board with Jory now, as he's not able to close the gap enough, but does go quite deep into the hairpin. Instinct Energy picks up a 3-second time penalty. But Junior Spam also in the second now as well. So it looks like Harv and Dimitri dropping off the pace a bit, so maybe their tyres are falling off quicker than Jory's and Junior's. So we're just going to have to see if Dimitri can try and keep that 1 second gap.
And Harvkosh is off track, and he has spun. He has hit the wall coming out of exiting Sector 2 there. It just looked like Harvkosh got a little bit loose and hit the wall. Nobody hit him, but that's going to put Junior Spam in third. Harvkosh will remain in the 4th position at least, but he is going to have to pit and fix that front wing.
He's got a broken wing there. That is very unfortunate for Harvkosh. He was racing well, getting a lot of positions, and he's blocking SVDL off the track. SVDL probably will have some words with the older Red Bull team here. Stain now able to gain massively on him. So although he's on hard tyres, he's on the fresher tyre. So we'll see if Stain's able to get this move on SVDL, and that's going to be disappointing for SVDL as his race was looking so promising, and then his pace just seemed to drop off massively.
Going through the DRS zone now, this might be Stain's chance to get by SVDL. And as you said, Stain is on slightly fresher tires than SVDL because he is on old mediums, our championship leader is. And Stain going to try to go on the inside of SVDL. He makes the pass with relative ease. SVDL going to try to fight back on the inside, but just cannot get the speed. So Stain will probably retain the 3rd position as SVDL is going to have to think about a pit stop before too long.
Yeah, I think SVDL is going to wait for the leading pack ahead of Dimitri and Jory to dive into the pits. And I think at the moment between Dimitri and Jory, it's who's going to blink first, who's going to get the undercut. As at the moment, none of the drivers seem to pit. They might just want to battle it out all 34 laps. Obviously, not going to be able to do that. But at the moment, it seems like they just don't really know who's going to pit first. They don't know who's going to pit when. As Jory does have DRS, he's within 3 tenths now, so he's definitely close enough to try and go for the pass here. As here he goes, opens DRS, gets in the toe of the Ferrari of Dimitri. And what is he able to do? He does pull to the inside, gets alongside him, gets ahead of him. And a little bit of a touch of the tyres from Dimitri, but Jory able to get the move done. I thought it was going to be a lot tighter into the hairpin, but it was not for Jory, able to get the move done very cleanly. So he is now your provisional leader of the race, but Dimitri still within that 2 tenths. So if he gets DRS, it could be dangerous for Jory again.
And Dimitri, he's very close. He's only about 2 tenths of a second behind Jory. They are coming up on King Kiski, which of course is not in his car at the moment, so he is not going to be a factor in this battle. And Jory and Dimitri both dive down into the pits.
I think you know, maybe Dimitri. Oh, Jory's got a 5-second penalty. Speeding in the pit lane. Oh, that is horrible. But Jory couldn't get the car slowed down. Has he got? It looks like he's getting a new front wing as well. No, that was just the front wing there for show, obviously. So he will have a 5-second time penalty added on at the end of the race, so he needs to try and break this gap. As Stain does take the lead again, Jory takes 2nd, Dimitri in 3rd, and Karacha 4th. So the earlier pit stop for Karacha didn't work for him. He didn't have the pace to make the pit stop work, and Karacha's still on the mediums. So we'll see if he's gonna do the 2 stop perhaps. But that could be an interesting, strategy from Kratcher there. Could maybe keep an eye on that, as he's got to go 19 laps to the end on those mediums if he does, which could be tough for him to do.
Yeah, I definitely don't see Kukaracha going that far on those medium tires. That's going to be quite a chore. However, for the time being, he's probably enjoying running in the 4th position, just trying to make up anything that he can. In front of him is his teammate Dimitri, who is on fresh hard tires. Jory as well in 2nd on fresh hard tires. But Jory, in addition to the 5-second time penalty that you mentioned, is still 3 seconds behind Stain. So I would say that Jory is just about out of the count as far as winning this race is concerned. He might be able to salvage a decent finish, but nonetheless, I don't think that he's going to be a threat for the win. Dimitri, meanwhile, in 3rd. If he can get by Jory, he might have a chance to catch Stain up there in 1st, but he's going to have to use the DRS to his advantage, and I'm not sure if he made it that time or not. It was so very close, the time interval. between whether he was a second or not behind Jory. He did gain on him a little bit, though, nonetheless, as they go through the hairpin.
Yeah, he was within a second, so did have the DRS open. I think for Jory, it's going to be, you know, he knows his race is pretty much over, and he's got his teammate ahead of him looking for some good points today. Jory, knowing the type of guy he is, knowing him and Stain, I think are good mates in real life. I think you said last time out, I may be wrong in saying that, there might be other people, but knowing the relationship teammates should have in this league, Jory is just going to get his elbows out, park the bus on the apex, not allow Dimitri to get the clean air to try and chase down Stain. As Junior Spam picks up a 3-second time penalty as well, so his race is pretty much over, so he's going to want to just try and defend from Karacha. As Dimitri does set the fastest lap on the hard tyres, Karacha also has a time penalty, so everyone's picking up time penalties here. I might go and have a look at who actually does have penalties here, just so we know for the end. So Luke Burns has a time penalty, so does Instinct, 5-second time penalty. Frosty also has the 5-second time penalty. Sea Dog has a 3-second time penalty, and then Veterano has a 3-second. Kosh has a 3-second. Burns has another 3 seconds. Frosty Calvin has a 3 seconds again. Raphael has a 3 seconds. So a lot of time penalties coming out here. I think Burns picks up another one. Instinct picks up another one as well. Dimitri has a 3-second time penalty as well. Jory has a 5-second time penalty. 3 seconds again for Instinct, and then 3 seconds for Junior Spam and for Karacha Ole. So, I mean, Jory only needs to make the time 2 seconds now between him and Dimitri if he wants to finish ahead, but at the moment he's getting really close, and I think Stein's dropped off the pace as well. He's only he's less than a second ahead of Jory now. So maybe Jory isn't going to be playing a good teammate role. Maybe he's going to try and take the lead of the race. He's got Dimitri behind him, so maybe if he can put a teammate in between him and Dimitri, that would be best case scenario. As I think the battle for the lead, I mean, with penalties respectively pitting them out of it, it's still going to be a good battle for the race lead, you could say, Tim.
Yeah, and at this point, I think it may just be more of a race of attrition with all the time penalties going on. So Jory might still have a shot as Stain goes just a little bit wide there as they're exiting Sector 2 right past the Mercedes grandstands. Jory in second, trying everything he can to get close to his teammate. Might be trying to make a move here soon. We're going to see what happens, but he has pressure from Dimitri behind him. So Jory and Dimitri, they're both only 3 laps on the hard tires, about to be 4. So tire wear is not really a factor between the two drivers. So it's just a matter of Dimitri might have a little bit of a faster car than the Williams.
Yeah, setups also could do a massive amount as well. So you never know who's running what setup. But yeah, a massive difference in tire age for Stain and Jory and Dimitri behind him. Is Jory does go for the move here, trying to put a gap between him and Dimitri. Dimitri follows Jory up the inside, hits his gearbox massively there, and he will have to stay behind Stain as he couldn't get the acceleration out of the corner after the crash. As he goes down the inside of Stain and he spun. Dimitri spun there. Collision between him and Stain. I think Dimitri went for a gap that maybe in Stain's mind didn't exist, but I mean, you got to credit Dimitri for going for it. He saw the gap, thought why not try and make it work, but just paid the price in the end.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go for it, and really I feel like Stain should have been expecting that going down into the Mercedes grandstand corner there, because with Dimitri just trying to really close that gap, going into turn, going through the hairpin like he did earlier, I just feel like it's something that would have been expected. But nonetheless, Stain just trying to hold his own, and it worked out for him better than it did Dimitri, so maybe Stain's sitting pretty here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, got that 5-second time penalty, so all Dane has to do is stay within 5 seconds and it should be, you know, easy pickings. All he's got to do is look after the tyres, make sure they get to the end. So Harkosh picks up another 3-second time penalty. Harkosh having the greatest of days when it comes to penalties. But other than that, Junior Spam now gaining on Dimitri. Crutchole a few laps back. SVDL and Harkosh here going at it into the hairpin. They're side by side. Hosh has the inside line. SVDL though trying to hold it round the outside. Does he have the acceleration? Yes, he does. My screen is lagging all over the place, so I might be a bit out of whack with the commentary, but everything is all over the shop for me, so you might have to take over Tim for a bit as I try and sort this out.
Well, riding on board with Harkosh, it does look like SVDL is in fact pulling away from him in that Red Bull. So SVDL just trying everything he can to widen the points lead that he has right now. Going into this race, he has a 24-point lead over APG Cortez. Cortez is not in this race today, so he will increase his lead over Cortez. But the question is, will he increase it over Jory, who in the point standings pretty sure is third, but in the race right now, running in first, and his teammate of Stain running in the second position, 2.2 seconds behind him. So not a lot of battles going on at the time being during this race on lap 21 of 34, but nonetheless, it's been a fairly decent race up until this point. It's just a matter of pit strategy starting to really space the field out here. So Stain and Jory just trying to do everything they can to get a good points day for the Williams team, while the Ferraris are also running fairly decent. They are in the lead in the constructor standings so far, so Dimitri running in third and Cucaracha running in fifth. That's going to help Ferrari and give them a good points day if they can just maintain those positions.
Yeah, everything is all over the places. I'm gonna go over and spectate Junior here as he's trying to close the gap between Dimitri and himself here. He's on 2 lap holder hard tyres, but it looks like he gained massively down Dimitri. Don't know what happened with Dimitri there. Maybe he made a mistake, had to go slower. But the gap just over a second, so he's not gonna have DRS unless he can close this gap by probably 2 tenths at the least. I think Karacha came in for his pit stop, so Karacha has come in for his pit stop. He's going to go, he's come back out on the mediums, so only lost 1 position there to SVDL, so maybe if he can find the pace on these mediums, you know, he's 20 seconds back on Junior Spam in 4th after SVDL, so we'll have to see if he's able to get them to find the pace. To get catch up to Junior Spam. I just can't talk for some reason.
Yeah, SVDL, though, he is having a fairly good day, I think, running in the 5th position, but what's amazing to me is that he's running 5th, but he's 20 seconds, as you said, behind Junior Spam running in 4th, so SVDL really wishes that he was closer, but 5th place is still a very good day for him. Junior Spam also having a good day, as we said, running in the 4th position, trying to chase down these podium runners. Dimitri is closest competitor thus far, but it's only about a 1.3 second gap, and as Junior Spam actually went through turns 3 there, or excuse me, I believe that was, yeah, it was turn 3, my bad. Junior Spam just had a little bit of an issue and was not able to get as close to Dimitri as he wanted to, so the gap has since increased to just a little over 1.5 seconds between him and the Ferrari. So Dimitri sitting pretty on the podium so far, but of course you got to remember that there are some time penalties that could come into play toward the end of this race.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of time penalties, as we just keep seeing piercing through at the bottom. So I mean, at the moment we don't know what this order is going to look like by the end of the race, but with just over 10 laps to go, Jory lead your race by just under 3 seconds here. Stain in 2nd, Dimitri in 3rd, a brilliant race for him in the Ferrari. Junior Spam in 4th, SVDL in 5th, Karacha Ole in 6th, Harkosh 7th, Instinct Energy 8th, it's Jake 9th, Frosty Calvin 10th, Raphael 11th, Veterano in 12th, with Burns 13th, David in 14th, and Sea-Dog in 15th, Kiski in 16th, but wasn't able to join us.
Yeah, currently I'm watching the battle between Harvkosh and Instinct. There for a while, when they were leaving the corner of the Mercedes grandstand, Instinct Energy was all up on the back of Harvkosh. You could not fit a piece of paper between those two drivers. Now Instinct Energy has backed off, but he is starting to gain just a little bit more. There was a little bit of contact going through that corner. So Harvkosh and Instinct Energy having a little bit of a game of bumper cars. Instinct Energy will have the DRS. Will he be able to get by the Red Bull or not? We're going to find out as he's using the slipstream and the DRS to his advantage. Going to try to go on the inside as they approach the hairpin, but who will win out on this little battle? Looks like Instinct Energy has cleared the Red Bull of Harvkosh. Will Harvkosh be able to fight back on the inside? No, he will not. So Instinct Energy move him up into the 7th position.
I think that's the benefit of the fresh tyres. I think there's been a crash in sector 1, maybe. I think there's a Ferrari going slow. It's Veterano. I don't know what's happened with him, but I think he's lost his wing. It's not letting me get a good look at it. I can't tell at the moment. I think I'll come back to him as we'll go back on board with Harvkosh and Instinct. But what I was saying, the fresher tyres of Instinct there, it's just made it so he was able to keep the grip. As well as a safety car. I've only just realised, I don't know why there was a safety car. Do you have any idea?
I do not, but that is going to play into Harvkosh's hands very nicely as he is just decided to pit. Going to see what tire he decides to put on. He's going to put on the soft tire, so he's going to go for speed here. Harvkosh will rejoin this race in at least the 8th position. Not sure if he's going to lose any more or not. He will lose at least one more to his teammate of Frosty Calvin, so Harvkosh down in 9th now. However, with a fresh set of soft tires in the field being able to bunch up, that might still mean that Harvkosh is in this race.
Yeah, not only have you got, you know, a lot of drivers ahead on the hard compounds, so you've got Joey Stain, Dimitri Jr., all on the hard compounds, Instinct on the mediums. You've now got your championship leader, SVDL, on the softs. You've got Karacha, who looked quick all weekend on the softs. You've got Harvkosh on the softs. You've got Raphael on the softs. So these are going to all be bunched up within 2 seconds of each other. DRS and the tyre wear is going to be massive here. As we saw in the hairpin, as I've been trying to say before I've been interrupted by a safety car and a yellow flag, Harvkosh tried to make the undercut work there on the corner, the switchback. He went in wide, try and get the car turned in tight to get a better exit. The hard tyres just didn't want to run that. Jory, Dimitri Jr., Stain all coming to the pits. So we'll see if they're able to get out back ahead of everyone. And yes, they are. So now every driver on the softs, no big difference. And Instinct, there's been an issue with Instinct here. I think he had to serve his 5-second time penalty. So he's been relegated to 8th. So now everyone is on the soft compound. They're all going to be within a few tenths of each other, and this is going to be the ending of the German Grand Prix that we wanted to see.
Looked like there was a little bit of an issue with Sea-Dog as he was ignoring the yellow flag, so not sure what penalty he was assessed for that, but very unfortunate for Sea-Dog.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed with that one. I mean, he's had a good race so far, and now just having to throw it away like that by not, paying attention. He's gonna be very upset about it.
So now we just have to wait for the field to catch up to each other and for the field to bunch back up behind the safety car. I predict that maybe in about 2 laps we will be able to go green. It's going to be a nice shootout because, as you said, most of the drivers have pitted for the soft compound tires. So we're going to see a lot of grip going through these corners, but also a lot of desperate drivers trying to make some last-minute moves. I suspect that we might see another safety car by the time it's all said and done. It's going to be very close because these drivers, they want to win, and they know that this is their last chance to do it.
It's an 8-lap shootout or maybe a 7-lap shootout by the time the safety car comes in. They are all bunched up, so your race standings at the moment before you go green again, Jory in the lead, Dimitri in second, Junior Spam in third, Stain had a poor pit stop, comes out in fourth. SVDL in fifth, your championship leader, Caracho in sixth, Half Kosh in seventh, Raphael in eighth, Instinct Energy ninth, It's Jake 10th, Frosty Calvin 11th, Luke Burns 12th, Veterano 13th, David 14th, and T-Dog 15th, even though I'm pretty sure he got a massive penalty.
So now, while we're under safety car conditions, who is your pick to win this race?
Oh, I knew that question was coming, and I've been trying to whittle it down. Who do I think? I mean, if we're going off raw pace, everyone's on the same tyre pretty much. I'm gonna go with the pole sitter today, Stain. You know, he will have DRS when it comes available. He did have the best pace on the soft tyres, so you've got to think, if this is just going to be a blitz to the end, I don't think the safety car is in this lap as well. Oh no, no, I don't think the safety car is in this lap. So there will be another lap. Yes, there's going to be another lap under safety car conditions, and Luke Burns has been given a penalty for a collision with Rossi Calvin. So we have one more lap, and then it's green. Luke Burns retires from the session, so obviously just a bit frustrating and thought there's no point. And Jory here still leads the race. Dimitri in fifth. Karacha has a penalty for a severe collision with Half Kosh. So a lot of penalties on the safety cars, and we've got to remember about the penalties. You know, we don't know what penalties become effect when, so this is your order at the moment, but this could be a very different look at the end of the race when penalties are involved.
Yeah, that it could, and you know, we might not be done seeing penalties anyway, because once we go back green, there's still going to be plenty of green flag laps for these drivers to pick up penalties. Of course, they want to try to avoid that, but as we've seen, it's been very difficult thus far, so I don't see why it's going to be any more easy there toward the end of the race.
And especially when they're all packed up like this, going down to the hairpin for the first time will be a very interesting sight. So, as the safety car most likely will be in this lap, as all the drivers have caught up to the back of the pack. Yep, there it is from race control. Safety car will be in this lap, so Jory is going to hold the pack up, and he will go whenever he feels like it. If you were, Tim, if you were leading the pack and the safety car comes in, when would you want to, release the drivers behind?
I would do it through that little corner there, because if you can take them by surprise, they might try to hit the gas just a little bit quicker to try to keep pace with you, and if you're lucky, spin their tires and maybe spin out and give you a little bit more breathing room. But you got to be careful, because if you try to jump the gun, then you're going to spin around too, because these tires, they're still fairly cold. So the grip isn't really so much as if we had been under 2 laps of race pace, but we are green now nonetheless, and it is Jory Jr., Spam, and Dimitri.
Dimitri's lost his front, an end plate off his front wing. Jory has dropped back massively here, and Junior Spam takes the lead of the race. SVDL and Karacha side by side. SVDL does keep third position here. Dimitri, I think, has lost a bit of his end plate, so he is going to be downfall. So Junior Spam leads the race behind, in front of Dimitri. SVDL here, just behind him, a few tenths back. Karacha side by side with SVDL, but SVDL holds the inside line, will hold the position. Jory drops back to 5th after a bad restart. Stein in 6th here, behind his teammate Jory. Half Kosh in 7th, a second back now from Stein, so the top pack already building a gap from 7th onwards. Veterano makes the move on It's Jake, who is still very close behind him. David behind him in 10th, the last points playing position. Sea-Dog in 11th, Raphael 6 seconds back in 12th, so he's had a disappointing restart there. but it is still Junior Spam who leads and is building a gap from Dimitri, who's obviously struggling with his front wing. SVDL will want to get the move done as quickly as possible here. He doesn't want to hang about behind the driver. He has damage, and it's the last 5 laps of the race here.
Yeah, and SVDL, he's not necessarily in a position to where he has to win, because we are very early on in this season, and SVDL is already leading by 24 points on top of the point standings. But if he finishes in third today, that will just increase, and that is exactly what he's looking for as he goes underneath Dimitri, going through the hairpin.
Oh, that's tight there. That's a fantastic move from Dimitri, though. He hasn't got it fully, not from Dimitri, from SVDL. He has got it stuck now. I was going to say he hasn't, but now Karacha looking to get back as his teammate. As he was close, but not close enough. And now Jory, this is just a domino effect. You go for a move, you lose time on the car behind, and now Jory goes down the inside of Karacha. Karacha loses out a lot of time there, and also loses out time on Stain as he tries to go around the outside through the left hander. Does he have the traction? Yes, he does. And Karacha has just tasted a bit of SVDL's medicine. We saw that happen to SVDL. He tried to hold back and just got overtaken by a fluster of cars, and Karacha as well has just suffered the same fate as Jory. Now a 10th behind Dimitri, right up his gearbox. Would he go for a move down into the right hander? He does. Late on the brakes, he does get the car stopped in time. He gets ahead. Would he also have DRS to play with down the straight? No, he won't. So Dimitri might be able to get right back at him, but Stain behind him goes for the move. Oh, massive collision there between Stain and Dimitri, and I think Stain's lost his front wing. So is a bit of Dimitri. So they're both going to be downforce. So Jory still keeps the position between Dimitri and Stain. Stain and Dimitri did very well to make sure neither of them went fully into the wall. So at the moment, Junior Spam leads comfortably from SVDL over a second. The gap between them, Jory, nearly 3 seconds back. As now Stain goes for the move again on Dimitri, and this time gets the move done quicker as Jory picks up another 3 second time penalty there. But that is something we've got to look out for. I will have another look at penalties. Let's see if there's been any penalties picked up recently.
And meanwhile, SVDL has been eating away at the gap between him and Junior Spam. It is now just flirting with a second even, 1.1 seconds now between Junior Spam and SVDL. So SVDL, he might actually be in contention for a win here if he can just squeeze into the DRS range, and he might have it going through this straightaway here. I don't think he does, but it's going to be so very close. In fact, he did have the DRS. He was using it, so SVDL was able to take advantage of DRS that time. Going to try to get close to Junior Spam, and we might be looking at another win for SVDL, who is just trying to increase his lead up at the top of the point standings. Junior Spam, rather, now, he's just trying to do everything he can to hang on and win this race. It is lap 32 of 34. When we cross the line this time, it will be only 2 laps to go. So SVDL has 2 laps to catch Junior Spam. Junior Spam has 2 laps to hold off SVDL.
Now, I don't know if SVDL knows this, but Junior Spam does have a 3 second time penalty. So whether SVDL has record of that, has note of that, and is like, okay, I don't have to force anything, I don't want to ruin my race, but he's now close up 2 tenths off of that final corner, 4 tenths now between him. I would love to see SVDL go for a move and not stick behind and wait for the penalties to get involved. As here we go, Stain picks up a 3 second time penalty as well. So here we go, down the straight. Is SVDL close enough to get a move? He does open DRS, he does stick behind the Haas in the toe, but he didn't gain at all. He literally didn't gain at all. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. Has there been another crash? I'm not too sure. As Harkosh is right up the gearbox of Karacha, it looks like. Only 3 tenths separating them, and Veterano dives down the inside of David, does go very wide though, and not able to keep the move. So David keeps his position. Harkosh right behind Karacha here, but we are going to stick on board with the battle for the lead. SVDL versus Junior Spam here as we come round the final combination of turns here to start the final lap of the race here, and this is what the race has been leading up to. 33 laps beforehand, leaves us with 2 drivers battling for the lead. Junior Spam versus SVDL. Actually does have DRS, he's only 2 tenths behind now. He just needs to keep it close, don't go for any moves. Dimitri picks up another 3-second time penalty, now 2 tenths behind. He'll have DRS, he has slipstream, he'll move to the outside line. Junior Spam going to try and cover the inside, but SVDL might just have the pace to get round him. They're side by side through the hairpin. Does SVDL have the traction? No, he has to go off the track. He tries, they're still side by side here as they go for the fast right-hander. SVDL, oh, the massive collision. Massive collision, and Junior Spam is round. Junior Spam is round. SVDL, Junior Spam leaves the session. Tim, I'll leave you to take away the final 3 turns.
And that was very unfortunate for Junior Spam. He hung on and he did everything that he could, but it just was not enough. Barring any time penalties, I do believe that SVDL will be rounding these final 2 corners to win the Formula EuroLeague Tier 3 Series German Grand Prix. As SVDL crosses the line, he will increase his points lead. Jory in second, Stain in third. Dimitri will finish in fourth, barring any time penalties from him. Cucaracha in the Ferrari running in the 5th position right now with Harpkosh just behind him, but after time penalties, Harpkosh will move into 5th. David will move into 6th with Cucaracha. David actually wrecked toward the finish, so Cucaracha dropping down to 7th. Veterano in 8th, Raphael in 9th. 10th will be Junior Spam, who has left the session. So after battling for the lead, Junior Spam will only wind up with a single point for today's race. It's Jake in 11th, will cross the line. Sea-Dog will cross the line in 12th with King Kiski after starting 2nd, but unfortunately not being able to stay in his car, will have to finish there in 13th. So very unfortunate for those 2 drivers, but congratulations to SVDL, who increases his points lead.
Yeah, I mean, takeaway from that race, it was very, very well done from SVDL. You know, as we said last time out, starting 15th on the grid, coming around, finishing first, had the better strategy. This time just got, again, you could say lucky with safety car. He was coming around the final corner as the safety car came in, so he could just go dive into the pits very quickly. But you need a bit of luck to win races, to win championships. So that is all he needed, and it was a fantastic race to watch, especially that final battle. And look at the penalties on the side. It wouldn't have mattered for SVDL if he didn't get the move from Junior Spam. I think Junior Spam did have a 3-second time penalty, where he had 6 seconds of time penalty to serve. So go on, Tim, you can take away the order of the race, mate.
And your official running results is SVDL in first, Jory in second, Stain in third, Dimitri in fourth, 5th is Harpkosh, 6th is David, Cucaracha in 7th, Veterano in 8th, Raphael in 9th, Junior Spam in 10th, it's Jake in 11th, 12th is Sea-Dog, 13th is King Kiski, Instinct Energy in 14th, Frosty Calvin in 15th, Luke Burns in 16th, and Max P in the 17th position. Of course, those final few spots of Instinct, Frosty Calvin, Luke, and Max P having DNFs in this session, with King Kiski not being able to run a single lap in this race due to some unfortunate technical difficulties, but maybe he'll be back next week. But again, congratulations to SVDL. There is a little bit of Junior fans in the comments on Twitch who are having a little bit of an issue with what happened there. Personally, I would have to see it again before I give an opinion, but what are your thoughts on what you saw?
I mean, as looking back on it, SVDL, I think Junior fans can't be too disheartened with it. I mean, he raced very well. He did a massive performance there to even be battling for the lead of the race. So he deserves all the plaudits he can get. And SVDL, he's a championship leader. He, you know, although you say, oh, he doesn't need to win, it's early in the season, to gain another 25 points on your championship rival who wasn't able to be here, now making the gap 49 points ahead of him, that is just going to be a massive advantage for him come later in the season. So I think SVDL was just trying. I think it's a racing incident. I don't think it was anything malicious from SVDL to take Junior out. I think it was just a plain racing incident, and it's not something that could have been avoided with the title and the ferocity the drivers were driving at.
Well, we might see a little bit of a rivalry carry on in future races. We'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, congratulations to all the podium finishers. To the viewers on Twitch, thank you so much for stopping by and watching the race. Alex, it has been a pleasure working with you. Do you have any final thoughts before we end the stream?
Congrats to SVDL on the race win. Also to Jory and Stain for the podium finishes. And it's been lovely to work with you again, Tim. And to all the viewers as well, I'd just like to also say thank you on behalf of me and on behalf of the league for watching again. And all the people on YouTube watching this, you can watch these races live on Twitch at 1 PM British time. But for my good friend Tim here, 8 o'clock in the morning American time if you are across the pond.
Yeah, it's a very early morning for me indeed, but what a way to start off a morning is for a nice race like that. But with that, I think that is all the time that we have for today, so thank you so much for everyone watching, and be sure to catch it again next weekend. And until then, peace out. We're all good. Have a good day, a good night, a good morning, a good evening, wherever you are from in the world. Goodbye.